The past is often hidden from us and sometimes surprises us with its sudden appearance. So it happened when I discovered a box of sketches I'd made more than 60 years earlier. But its discovery was not enough for me to fully realize what I'd found. It took a visitor to notice and bring to my attention the richness of the on-the-spot sketches I had enjoyed making in New York City a long time ago. I know that I got the idea for making my own sketchbooks from seeing those of my mentor, Reginald Marsh. He bought metal rings, cut paper to size, and bound the sheets into sketchbook form. He left several hundred of these at the time of his death in 1954. I started to do the same thing in the 50s. The size needed to be small enough to fit in one of my pockets, since I planned on being out in the street, on the subways, or in some jazz club where I could record my impressions. It was more than an attempt to record. It was an interaction with the people and environment. Here are 3 examples of my original sketches, the developed studio drawings, and the paintings. I used a Waterman fountain pen most of the time with black ink. I believe it had a flexible gold point which was very responsive to my touch. It could produce thick and thin lines by varying the pressure. In the normal course of my days, I rode the subway, wandered the streets, visited jazz venues because there was energy in these places, potential inspiration for paintings I might want to make. I was part of a group of artists that was inspired by the Union Square section of the city, the 14th Street School. I have no idea what brought me there, why I loved it. I was surprised years later by how many of these sketches I'd made. They came to my attention as a result of moving my residence. I first showed them to Alice Hupful at the Delaware Art Museum, and she admired them and encouraged me to exhibit at the museum gallery shop. To my surprise, she found many collectors for these drawings and prints. The work I gave her was the second stage, the final studio drawings based on the raw data I had gathered from life. These were larger drawings. There weren't too many of these more developed drawings, maybe 40 or so. Even though they were New York City subjects, people in Delaware found them very attractive. A gallery in New York City advertised looking for New York City subjects, and while my work didn't fit their need, they passed my material on to the Susan Teller Gallery. They also found them worthy of attention and contacted me. Currently, they are being shown by Robert Newman at the Old Print Shop in New York City. But that's only the beginning of the discovery, because I hadn't paid much attention to the box of the on-the-spot sketches, the so-called raw data. I had moved on to other interests. It was a chance visit by Becky and Professor Bernie Herman that revealed the overlooked treasure, the rich, original source for the larger drawings and paintings that came later. As I said, my practice was to collect data from life, develop the material in my studio, and make paintings based on these preparatory sketches. It's interesting to see the original sketches as shown here, charged with the energy of life, transformed. It's not only that the larger drawings and paintings are more developed, they are other works, a different experience. The original sketches are no less significant. They have their own special quality. I'm still captivated by New York City, its people and places, now more visually varied and stimulating than it was then. And I still carry my sketchbook when I return home.